Welcome to the Product Boss Podcast, where we help product-based businesses grow their sales and improve their strategies.
Hey everyone, I want to introduce you to my co-host and biz bestie, Minna an Amazon guru that has built a multi-six-figure product-based business.
And introducing the other half of the Product Boss, Jacqueline Snyder. She has helped launch and grow over 500 fashion apparel and accessory brands, even one of her own.
And together, we share our inventory of secret weapons that will help you dig deep and do the work it takes.
Are you ready? Let's build together.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Product Boss Podcast. I'm your host, Jacqueline Snyder, with my wonderful co-host, Minna Kunlo-Sitap. Hey Minna.
Hey Jacqueline.
So today we thought it would be fun to explore behind the scenes of Minna launching a new business and a new product line, and her first launch is now on Amazon. And we wanted to sort of take our listeners through the journey. So understanding how Minna created it, why she created it, and sort of the behind the scenes and the highs, lows, pitfalls, the struggles that she's dealing with, because she is an expert and has an amazing business on Amazon. But there's always new things to learn. And when you're launching a new product in a different time, the struggles and challenges that come with that. And so we wanted to really just share where she's at now. And then we will do a later podcast on where she is or sharing sort of updates on the business. So Minna, you have launched Oasis Soap.
Yes, Oasis Soap Co. I bet you guys didn't think that I could have too many businesses. I feel like it's a lot of businesses, right? There's Little Labels, which is I'm in so deep, and the Products Boss. And then there's Oasis Soap Co., which is charcoal cleansing bar. So basically charcoal soap that can be used for so many things. So kind of the backstory, when I gave birth, your body changes significantly. And then also with my youngest daughter, Layla, when she turned 4 months, she had emergency open heart surgery and she was in the intensive care for like a month. And so when I left the intensive care, I had psoriasis all over my body, patches of psoriasis. And it's a genetic thing, but I had never even really gotten acne before, honestly. Like I don't really have skin issues. And so I spent the last 3 years figuring out what is going on with my skin. And a few of the things my dermatologist said was that it's from stress. It was basically triggered. Some people go through, since it's an autoimmune thing, they never have psoriasis, even though it's in kind of their bloodline. But since going through pregnancy, my body changing, and then also through the open heart surgery and being under the stress of that, my body didn't know how to cope with all the stress. And then I ended up having really bad psoriasis. So for the 3 years, I tried so many lotions, so many shampoos and conditioners. I bathed in my sister's breast milk. Did I tell you this? Based off that Kardashian episode. So Kim Kardashian has psoriasis. We're basically twins. And so she steals Kourtney's breast milk because it's an antibacterial fluid that can help with psoriasis. So my sister, she had a second baby in the 3 years that I was trying to figure out this whole psoriasis thing. And she gave me 16 pouches of breast milk, and I put it in the bathtub and soaked in it for like an hour. And it did not help. Like it was so greasy. It was crazy. And I was like, no wonder like my niece loves this milk so much. It's like basically, fats. So that didn't help. So I was pretty desperate. And so one of the things that really helped was keeping my skin clean. And I only wanted to go natural. So I did not take any medication, prescriptions and stuff like that. And so then I came up with a soap because charcoal is a natural vegan material. So basically activated charcoal, and it pulls grime and toxins out of your pores without any chemicals. The soap is completely organic. And since the FDA said that you can't say that activated charcoal is organic, all organic besides the activated charcoal that's added. So that's basically what it is. And I just launched it because it helped my skin. I wanted it to help other people. That's kind of where my journey started. So 3 years in the making.
Okay, so you were inspired by creating this product for a need that you have, and from your own research, like in discovering things for your body, the things you've tried. And then you decided to source the soap, or how did you sort of decide on the product that you wanted to put out there? Why not just like activated charcoal that they could rub on their skin?
I tried a lot of things. I didn't like the charcoal powder. I tried shower gels and shampoos and things. There was nothing that worked as effectively as a soap bar. So that's how I decided on that. I originally thought I was going to do a shower gel because I don't know. I thought it would work better. Oh, I also tried out bath bombs that were charcoal. So many things.
So you basically tried things for yourself, and then
Mhm.
what you felt was a product that you should move forward on, and you thought there's other people out there that might need this.
Yeah, I basically figured out that I wanted to do a soap bar with charcoal in it, and then I found a soap maker that was able to make them in batches in the formula that I wanted. So I picked out my oils. I picked out all organic stuff. I picked out, like I eliminated certain things. Like you can have tea tree oil in there, which is good for acne, but it actually was too tingly. I didn't like the way that that felt. So I pulled that out of the original formula. And so I basically picked my formula before they batched it. And then they sampled it out and then I tried it out and then I moved forward on like 1,000 of them.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about, so you came up with the idea, you tried a bunch of different things, and then tell us about the sourcing. So if someone's starting out a new product-based business, how do they go about sourcing?
You find manufacturers. So basically, just like soap manufacturers, there's manufacturers for everything under the sun. So basically, I called a ton of manufacturers. Some of them were too small for me ever scaling. Some of them had their own formulas and they weren't willing to do custom. This manufacturer that I found, I liked their price points. I liked that they were able to scale. And I liked that I could do things like eventually I could actually put in an imprint into it, and have like my logo in there. And then it'd be priced per bar, 10 cents additionally a piece or whatever. So I liked that. I also liked the processes. They are able to take the boxes that I send them and put the soap in there, and then it gets shipped out from there. So then it prevents it from being damaged or the soap won't break and things like that. So I really had to think about the full process of getting it into warehouse and how many hands that it touches. I didn't want them to break or melt in the sun.
And a totally other product than something that you were already doing and doing really well with. So I think that your superhero power strengths are that you're able to source. And we've talked about in another episode, the fact that you have the know-how. So you're able to basically create packaging, make something look really legit, versus there's other people that might have a soap company, but they don't really have the connections with or they don't even have the know-how or the superhero powers, the superpowers. I keep, but basically to design it, and so they're trying to get what's in their head out. Or for me, I really trust the designers I work with, so I know what I like and I don't like. But sometimes it's hard for me to say what I need, so I tell them like, this is like how I feel about it. Present it back to me. I'll know if I like it or I don't like it. So you've got the ability to kind of be that person for yourself and make it happen.
I don't even know if I 100% love my packaging. That was actually the hardest part. It was really, really hard for me to come up with something because I was looking at to see what's on the market. I wanted to differentiate myself, and I felt like it had to be a little bit black heavy because it's charcoal. And all of the soap companies that I saw that were out there were more like craft paper boxes or things like that were more natural. And they were just like off the shelf type of items, like they were little craft boxes that they put like a wrap around. I didn't want to do it that way. I wanted to like have it look like it could be an Ulta. It was really hard. My husband wasn't totally in love with the design. This was probably like my 20th design. Because at first I was trying to do like natural stuff since it's pure plant-based. I thought I'm going to make it look really organic-y and spa like. Well, that using certain words in your head when you're trying to put together a package is so hard because then you're like, this doesn't look spa like. Basically, that was the hardest part, and I'm still not sure if I love it. So even though you feel like it's not perfect, you can still move forward with things. There's that whole progress is better than perfection, right? I like it enough. I'm probably going to tweak it a little bit. And the first run, you're never going to be 100% satisfied with it, which by the way, I accidentally deleted the space between made in the USA. It says made in the USA. The USA runs together.
And, and that's something that I mean, again, we're experts, but things still happen. And when you're doing it on your own, and Mina will work at all hours. And so she was probably creating this on her own, that she will, she's not going to see everything versus if you have somebody to bounce these ideas off of, which I don't think maybe you did send me the packaging, but maybe I looked it on my phone.
I think it went through 3 sets of eyes. So you can be Procter and Gamble and still do a misstep, This is my first run. So I was like, you know what? I'm probably going to be the only person that even notices this, but I'll need to fix it for next time. So yeah, I went through 3 sets of eyes, myself, my husband's, the printer, actually probably more, yours. Either way, it's okay. I'm okay with moving forward. I still love it. But yeah, the packaging was definitely the hardest part.
I had a typo on my wedding invitation, so don't worry about it. The bottom. I don't remember what it is. I think I blocked that out, but also a lot of people saw it. Okay, so we've dealt with packaging and now you have gotten the product up on Amazon. So I know you're not dedicating a lot of time to it right now because you're in the season of little labels and it's one of your busy seasons. But tell us about getting it on Amazon and where you're at with that.
Yeah, so it's live. It can be purchased. So if anybody wants to look it up, it's Oasis and then soap, and it's the charcoal one that gets pulled up. And so if you just put that into the search engine, and you can buy it. Right now, I'm getting ready for Prime Day for low labels. So basically, I have no time to dedicate to Oasis. But starting in July, because this Prime Day push will end June 26th is when we have to have the inventory in. I'm going to be shifting my focus onto Oasis. I have it live right now because I want to sit with the feeling of how my messaging is. Like right now, it says a lot of things like helps with psoriasis, helps with enlarged pores. Basically, bottom line, activated charcoal is like magic. It works in so many things. And so like flaky skin, oily skin, it also works in hormonal acne. I think that to differentiate myself from my competitors, I'm going to have a very specific target market. And that is going to be moms that deal with hormonal acne when they're pregnant and when they give birth, when they're in birth and when they're nursing. So basically your hormones are changing, and a lot of times people don't want to take steroids or they don't want to take medicine to deal with that kind of stuff. So I think I'm going to start with that route, and I want to let it sit there and let it marinate, I guess, but then have it there so if people want to buy it and they know the advantages and benefits of a charcoal soap, they can still do it.
So you're niching down maybe to psoriasis as this is a problem solver for it, but even more so, you're not marketing to everybody with psoriasis. When you start to really focus in on the business and maybe you're doing Instagram or Pinterest or you're building the business, you're going to actually focus down even more so onto moms. Like, I get you. I get what you go through. You're dealing with hormones. This is what happened to me. Here's my solution. So you're going to niche down your customer. Everyone can use it, but this is where you're going to focus your time and your efforts.
Yeah, I think with psoriasis too, since you can't cure psoriasis, this is just a way that I help to manage my skin. I call it chemical-free skincare, right? Like it's basically how I live my everyday life. I honestly thought that my psoriasis would go away one day if I worked out enough, if I sweated it out, because it appeared one day, literally appeared one day. But that was not the case. And so I just had to deal with it in real life. And charcoal soap was my way of doing that. I don't think it's for everybody in that psoriasis is a big deal. It's varying for people. So I don't think though it can help in some sort of skin regimen, it might not be enough for people who have like severe psoriasis. Some people have it like covering their entire body.
So I know that you were saying that you've launched this and maybe you have a few challenges that you're dealing with. And so we were going to chat about some things that you might have questions about, or you might just want to bounce ideas off of me.
Yeah, I think one of the things is that messaging and finding my avatar. I'm kind of like, is that mom niche because it overlaps with the labels. I feel like that's kind of what I did. I took my mom life and figured it out, and charcoal helps with a whole bunch of things. The other niche that I feel really pulled by is people who work out. And it could be moms that work out because you're sweating. And then when you sweat, your toxins go back into your body because you're sweating it out and then it absorbs back. Your skin is actually really absorbent. But charcoal actually will pull that away, and it does it. Activated charcoal will just like flush it down the drain, right? And so that's another niche that I think is so intriguing, is that those people that work out. And it could be, that they're wanting to detoxify their body and clean out their pores. So is that too many to narrow in on, or is it the mom that works out and also is nursing?
Well,
I don't know.
how are you going to market to your customer right now?
So I want to align with influencers, basically. Do I tap into like the working out and the fitness ones? I don't know, because they're bombarded with a lot of offers, and I don't know if soap is sexy enough for them. Or is it sexy enough for them? I don't know. Like, what do you think?
Well, I know Kim Kardashian has psoriasis, and she talks about it a lot and cries about it a lot. But her sister,
Same, twins.
but you just don't have a camera crew following you around. And then you have Kourtney Kardashian, who really positioned her brand and herself as like the mom of all of them, like the mom's mom. And, where she has gluten-free, and I think she probably was sponsored by like Manuka honey, but and ghee, like she brought all these sort of like natural products to the forefront, but she doesn't have the psoriasis aspect of it. So if you went to her, it would be about just like a soap for toxins, versus if you went to Kim Kardashian, it would be for her psoriasis, and it's like a solution to a problem of something that really is. And you think about those commercials, like the medication you could be on for psoriasis. I think that for you, I think if you Pinterest, for example, if you started doing some like blogs about it, if you started kind of maybe writing about it or doing some video posts or doing like top 10 tips or cures for psoriasis, or if you did something for toxicity and toxins, and you saw maybe what was getting the most traction, I would tell you though in the very beginning, I would reach out to both and see which one sort of takes off. Finding a mom who works out that has psoriasis is difficult, but I think psoriasis and like solving a problem naturally, I think that makes you stand out actually from the competition.
Yeah, and I kind of like it a little bit because it solves a problem, whereas I think that people who work out, they don't see it as a problem that their skin is dirty. Thinking they're sweating it out. They're not thinking, "Oh, I need some soap that cleans out my pores," or whatever.
But if that was the case, and I've talked to like some of my clients about this before, you would just need to let people know that that is a problem. So you need to educate people on an issue to then have them know that that issue needs to be solved. So like straws, like plastic, like how straws are having this big thing right now, plastic straws. People that cared have known for a very long time that plastic bottles, plastic straws are bad for the environment. There was a story specifically on plastic straws, and it made like national news media, really was promoted. So there's people that we know that are making like metal straws, that have been making metal straws forever. And now with this like tick on like the national news media, that it's something that's being solved. So until you can really push that as a problem and really get people to know that it's a problem, then it's not yet, unless you're going for like the natural people, like Sophia Miyakova. She's a big influencer. She's like super sexy, beautiful, wears like a lot of sexy fashion, but she's also a vegan. So she's constantly also talking about like all her vegan meals. Plus she's sexy. So she's like, guys like her, and she wears clothes that girls follow and try and be. And so it'd be aligning yourself even more niche down to that.
Yeah, I love that. I think a lot of because psoriasis has to do so much with diet too.
Mm.
I should be vegan as well, my vegan friend, but I am not. But I'll think about it. But but I'm in psoriasis support groups on Facebook, and they're always talking about lifestyle and eating habits and stuff. And there's some people that literally, they're so strict on their diet. I need to be better about it because there's certain triggers and everything. But yeah, super interesting. It might go hand in hand. That was one of the things I thought about, is maybe reaching out to people that are vegan and also maybe nutritionists. I feel like nutritionists their clout has definitely gone up in the past years. Before there was no need for it. Now people are like, they're a big deal, and people hire them to create a diet for them and things like that. So
That was my Hanukkah present from my husband.
oh, really? Was a nutritionist?
I wanted a vegan nutritionist because I was like, I need to know how to eat well. And it was like upping my protein, but not knowing how to eat protein if I wasn't eating slices of turkey or chicken breast. But, and that comes with like being able to afford like a service like that. And also depending on where you are, right? I was in Los Angeles. It was, typical. It wasn't something weird. Not weird, but not atypical. So what you were saying about the groups you're in, I feel like I would align with the psoriasis and the psoriasis groups. And I don't know if you can give discounts on Amazon, or can you give like a discount code to anybody?
No, you can't sell in them in those groups. But yeah, that's the other thing. Where am I going to find all these psoriasis ridden people?
Could you, so in the psoriasis group, could you say that you're looking for like a beta group that you would like to test the soap on, and that maybe you have, like you said, 1,000 bars of soap. Could you do 50, 100? Like, could you say like first 100 people that email me, I'll send you soap? And then
Maybe I could ask the admin.
yeah, or like even slice them, like make them smaller. It depends on what you want to do. Cause if you go to Lush, which is like an expensive soap company and they make it all naturally, they do little slices of soap. But let's just say you put your money towards gifting to people who actually have the problem. Then all of a sudden they're aware of it, and perhaps then you could ask in your little package to them, if you love this, it's available on Amazon. I would love for you to, purchase and review, sort of thing. And so just reaching out to your network to start getting that information spread.
Yeah, I definitely need to send out samples. And I use my soap in a specific way. Like, I don't know if you've ever heard of konjac sponges, but they're basically like, it's a root, and I think they're Japanese, but basically it's a vegetable.
A root?
And yeah, a root. A root.
It's okay. You're from the Midwest, and I'm from
Yeah,
somewhere
I
else.
am. That's how they say it around here. And so basically it comes in, it's really small. When you soak it in water or you run it under running water, it becomes like 5 times bigger. It's a really soft sponge. Imagine a really soft loofah that's all natural though. So I put that against my charcoal bar. That way I'm loofahing. And so I think that I'm going to add that on as kind of like a kit to my influencers.
I would tell you to look at the groups that you're in and see how many members are in those groups. And then even though if they're psoriasis, they may not have created a product. And you could literally say like, I've been a part of this group. I just launched this. I want to do a beta group or a test group. And you could ask for you could say the first 100 people, you could say anyone in the group, you can decide whether I would tell you to slice the bars and do like little bits of it, because if they have a full bar of soap, they may not need to buy something right away. And then I would direct them to your Amazon. I know that to me, looking at you, because I can see her on Zoom, you feel uncomfortable in that.
These people I feel like I'm capitalizing on their desperation, because I've been there. I've been desperate enough to bathe in my sister's breast milk, which my other sister was like, do not ever tell this story, blah, blah, blah.
And now you have a podcast and you share it for everyone.
On air forever. And so, and their psoriasis is far worse than mine. Mine is not anything compared to them. So I feel like, one, I don't know if I can deliver to helping them enough. And two, I feel a little bit uncomfortable because I don't want them to feel like I'm being disingenuous.
Okay, so if you were in the group, how about instead of trying to sell to them, if you were in the group and you said, hey, I also have psoriasis, I kind of invented this idea. I'd love to send samples because I'm doing a beta group of testing. Because if you're going to grow this business, you may also want to have a thing where if 100 people tested it, 90% of them saw results in 10 days. And maybe you create a questionnaire. So you're because it's a connection to other people that are experiencing the same problem. Because the other thing is if they come back and they're like, it didn't work, then maybe you do shift it to, it works on you, right? Mm-hmm. And you have to experiment on other people, because it is sort of something that you don't really want to claim it like it could, because it's not FDA approved and this is a solution.
And it's not a cure. It's definitely just great for your skin.
Right.
If you have psoriasis, especially, you should be taking care of your skin, you know?
Right. And so maybe it's just trying to get sort of proof or just data to then back up some of it, or to say like, people with psoriasis have said this, or I've battled with psoriasis for 10 years and I tried this and it really, minimized the flare-ups or helped reduce the flare-ups. Because you can also test it that if it doesn't really get going within a group of people who are really dealing with it, then it might be that you shift over your focus to like toxicity, like metals that like ooze out of your body when you're sweating. And then it's like a really natural way of like getting that off. Either way, you've created a product that you need to educate people on, that this is a solution to something. And then if they don't even know that there's a problem, letting them know what the problem is.
Yeah. Feels like I'm back at startup again, let me tell
You
you.
are. That's why we're doing this podcast.
Yeah. This is the hard part for sure. People in startup, myself included right now, it's like your wheels are constantly turning. There's
Mhm.
so many struggles. I don't have the same struggles with the little labels. I feel like my mind gets wrapped around things that are a lot more, like I like to scale better than I like to start up. Let's just say some people love the startup, not me.
Well, I
Yeah.
think you've invested in the product. You've invested in the time and effort that you've put it up. You're sitting on, did you say 1,000 bars of soap?
Hmm.
Okay, so you've got 1,000 bars of soap. And so whether you sell them off in the first year or it's something that you just kind of have, like my cuffs couture that are currently in the closet mocking me.
I'll have soap for the rest of my life if
And I
need
have,
be.
and I have cuffs for the rest of my life. So if anybody wants any, message me. No. So, but it's something that the other thing that Mina and I really vibe on is that like we're creative and we like creating and we like coming up with ideas, and we are able to make things happen. So this is something that you are inspired by and you're able to make happen. And when you're ready, that's the other thing I have to say is like when you're ready to invest your time into this and the efforts, because you do have, this is a side hustle for you. Like Little Labels is your business, like your huge business, then you'll do it. But meanwhile, it's just starting to marinate on these thoughts and ideas and seeing where it's kind of one of those things like where you wake up. I think you told me, do you lay down to think?
Yeah,
So
I
one of those
do.
times that, because I go on vacation to think, like if I'm, and I was like, oh, but I'm laying down because if I'm by a pool, I might come up with like some awesome inspiration. But she lays down to think. So it might be one day where like you're laying down and all these conversations, something clicks through and you're like, oh, wait, I've got it. And that'll be your next move.
I mean, it's super exciting. I would say for our listeners, if you ever decide to do a side hustle on your major biz, which I know the Product Boss is another side hustle, so don't do too many, but always have one main gig and have that be the stable one. Little Labels is my leading business and it's definitely stable. I am growing it a lot, so I'm in that growth to expansion stage right now. That was the only way that I was able to do this whole nother venture startup. So don't add on too much, and then also make sure that one of your main thing is stable. Otherwise, you will drive yourself nuts with trying to make something work in a quick amount of time that it may not be able to produce for you.
And this isn't something that you're needing to rush to market. It's not like you quit your corporate job and you need to get this out there to support your family. It's something that as a creator and an inventor, you were inspired to do and you're trying it. And I mean, we've all started and tried a bunch of different types of businesses, or I've offered services. I have ideas that I take action on. I have ones I don't. But I think it's just really interesting to see the other side. And the thing that I'm interested in learning about as you build this business is Amazon today versus Amazon when you started Little Labels. So I know you say that you got in at a time where people were able to review it that maybe didn't buy it. And now it's like it's like they've had to buy it. They can't be related to you. They might even know if you're Facebook friends.
They can't even be your acquaintance. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, Facebook friends or anything like that. So I can't pull from my own network, but that's not to say that those people aren't going to buy. I've gotten 11 sales and 8 of them were from people that I knew, that just wanted to try out the product or whatever. So those sales still kind of go into the Amazon queue. They're just not able to review and things like that, and they don't hold as much clout, probably 10-to-1 ratio on an
Mhm.
actual real purchase. Yeah.
So if you don't know us, go buy Oasis soap on Amazon
Yeah, I
and
mean,
review it.
I'm super excited about it. It's definitely taking a lot of my time just coming up with the idea, executing it, sourcing it, all that stuff. If I didn't believe in it, I wouldn't even do it because I don't even need to do it. But the thing is, I'm excited about having another product that could help another mom. This is basically is my avatar, the busy mom that's trying to figure things out. Basically, I am creating stuff that I've used, that I've, you know, worked out in my own life to really help me. And if it doesn't work out, what am I going to lose? I don't know.
They'll be building bricks in the basement. But so
Everybody's going to get charcoal soap for Christmas for the next 10 years.
but it's for moms who love easy. So I think you've said it in this conversation a couple times that it's going to stay moms right now because that's what I think you feel most aligned to and probably can speak to and motivates you most. So right now you're staying with moms. You are a mom who works out as active stress management and has psoriasis. So I think you'll see where it lands. And even in the like entrepreneurial mom groups that you're in, it's something that once you start to talk about it might be something that people are like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. Or I use activated charcoal. I drink it in my juices, so how can you use
Yeah.
this on your body? And it's a new trend, right? Like coconut was trending. Um,
Mhm.
Almonds are trending. Activated charcoal is a new trend. So it's great to be in on that before everyone has it.
And a lot of kids have psoriasis. So, like, if your 6-year-old son has it, you're not going to give him, you might give him steroid cream, a topical cream, but you won't give him, oral medication or prescription. It's a great option to have because kids are really self conscious about that kind of stuff, especially if you're a boy and you can see that hairline. It's a lot of times along your hairline and things like that. So,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm excited about it. I want to see where it goes. And the worst thing that's lost is my time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm a really big encourager, obviously, in the way that I do my business of like, what are you going to look back on in your life and say, like, God, I wish I did that. I wish I tried that. So sometimes there's ideas that really inspire us. And I'm proud of you for, pushing this through and doing something that you've been thinking about and mulling over for a long time. And it's fun to hear about you in the startup phase because you've got such a
I hate
successful
I
business.
hate this stage.
And so now everyone knows too, like you can be successful at something and try something else and know that like you do kind of go back a bit, but you're probably making better choices than, as we like to say, baby Mina made, you know, back in the day. You've got more tools now at your disposal.
Yeah, and right now I'm giving myself more time to think about it. I don't like to think when I'm in overwhelmed status, and that's the status I'm in right now because of all the Prime Day and doing stuff for low labels and stuff. So once I can think about it, that's when I'll start making some major strategy decisions of what I want to do. But yeah, I never make any big decisions when I'm feeling overwhelmed because they're made out of franticness.
So we'll come back closer to the holidays, which, by the way, I came up with a whole new idea for you right now because my husband's family celebrates Christmas and they put coal in the
Uh-huh.
stocking of like it's like this one coal that's been around for 30 years, but it's a coal soap. And they put it in the stocking and usually like my father-in-law gets
For
it
Hanukkah or
for
for
Christmas in there.
for
No
Christmas?
stockings. But it could be like you can almost do this like Christmas pitch of like how there's like the joke or not I don't know Cole at
Yeah.
Christmas like
Yeah.
naughty or nice kind of thing. But
Oh, I love it.
let's check back in closer to the holidays because I think that'll be a really good time. You're working on little labels right now. This is your high season. Product Boss, we're launching our masterminds in September, in the beginning of the fall, and then your product, and that's what we're going to be working on. Your product, getting it ready to sell at Christmas. And so you're going to go through the cycles that our masterminders are doing as well, and we'll check back in and see where your business is in like some months.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up too. The Holiday to Halo group program. So right now, I am testing out so many things. So for, how there's like the Cyber 5, which is the 5 days between Thanksgiving and Cyber Monday, we'll be pushing really hard for Holiday to Halo for our masterminders to really leverage that time. Also, there's a 12 days of giveaways. It's a really popular thing for Christmas. And so that would be really cool. The 12 days of giveaways, I could do giving away charcoal soap. But so to test these things out for little labels, because my Christmas is essentially back to school, I'm going to be doing 12 days of giveaways for back to school. So August 1st through the 12th. And so I can see how certain emails work or whatever. So when we start a group coaching program, I'll have a lot more recent data to pull from, and then able to help them say, hey, this coupon really worked well instead of this buy one, get one, or whatever it might be, little tweaks here and there. Here's what we need to test, or, it'll be really interesting. I'm so excited for the group coaching program because it's so specific to a certain time from, Thanksgiving all the way to quarter 1. And those are basically the times that make or break your business.
And that's the thing, right? Like you and I are in the business, like we have our own products, or I'm trying to either liquidate a product or you're launching a product. And so because we're in it and we're experiencing it in real time, we're able to coach on it. And then, like you said, you're going to test out this 12-day gifting and see where it lands. Because if it doesn't do that well, you'll have that feedback too for, our listeners. We'll do podcasts on it, or the groups that we work with. So I want to thank everyone for joining us. Remember, let them know how to spell it and how to get your soap if they're interested.
This was one of the things when I picked Oasis was do people know how to spell this? So it's OASIS. And then, so if you just put OASIS soap into Amazon, it'll pull up the listing. There's only one. I tried it a million times. Hopefully somebody doesn't target that keyword.
So if you need to find it, that's the place to find it. And if you end up buying it, let us know. Like we would love that support. This is not a commercial for her, but knowing that, again, those connections and networks, if you guys are able to support us, we are also able to support you. So thank you so much for listening to the podcast today, and we will talk to you again next week.
Thanks, everyone.
This episode was brought to you by our new mastermind program, Holiday to Halo. You get the guidance of both myself and Jacqueline as your coaches inside an amazing group of fellow product-based business owners. Starting in September, we'll be getting a head start and ramping up to make a big impact on sales for the Cyber 5, which is Thanksgiving through Cyber Monday. Then on to Christmas revenue strategy. And to boost your growth into the new year, we'll be setting your business up for Halo sales into Q1. We would love for you to join us. Go to theproductboss.com/mastermind for more information.
Loved this episode of the Product Boss podcast? Head over to iTunes to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. We would so appreciate it.